My dearest Travelista, come on in here, honey. Sit right on over here. It is story time. Welcome to the podcast. I am your host, Tyra Andre, and we are going to talk about how I got into the travel industry. I'm going to tell you guys my whole backstory, okay? So, I didn't really, I didn't even know that the travel industry was a thing. Let's start there. Um, I don't know. I mean, as a kid, I've always wanted to go, to different places, but I never really thought of it as a job. I just thought that travel was something that people did. I didn't know that I could make a whole career out of it. I'll start there. And so before I had my daughter, Isabella, I would cruise and I would always want to go on cruises with someone or want someone to come on a cruise with me. I would never want to travel by myself. Well, things changed once I had my daughter. Once I had my daughter, same thing. I wanted to go a few different places. Everybody and mom wanted to go until it was time to pay. And then I was back at square one all over again. So something changed in my thinking. It was maybe about 5 years ago. Things changed in my thinking, and I just really got tired of waiting. So what I did was I booked my daughter and I a cruise out of California. So we flew into California. We took a tour of LA. The cruise line came to pick us up from the airport, and then they took us to the boat. That changed my life, you guys. That changed my life because after that cruise was done, after I had a chance to get back home safe, I was safe, nothing happened. It just really dawned on me that, oh my gosh, I was safe. My daughter was safe. We saw all of LA, like nothing happened. Nothing happened. And I wanted to do more. So fast forward maybe about 2 years or so, I booked my daughter and I a trip to Paris. And I don't know, I'm a planner. I always plan things in advance. So, it was really affordable. I booked us a trip to Paris. We got to Paris. We had a complete ball, you guys. And so this was all before I even thought about travel as, a company, travel as a business. Like I didn't even know that travel was my true passion. Many of you guys know that I'm a licensed clinical laboratory scientist and I love what I do, but I soon realized that my biggest passion was traveling. So we went on that trip to Paris, came back, same thing. Oh my gosh, it was fantastic. In Paris, we did get stuck in a riot. We went in December and, sometimes in Paris, they have something called I think they're called yellow jacket riders, where they're riding like different stuff. So we got stuck it was like late at night in Paris, and we were on a tour bus coming back. And so it was like a hop on, hop off bus. And so, traffic just came to a complete stop and everybody was wondering, why is traffic at a complete stop? And so the bus driver finally figured it out, that they were having a riot. So he was so sweet. I forget his name, but he was so super sweet. He stopped the bus. He got everybody off the bus and he walked us to our spot, the next safest bus stop. And so we literally walked through the back end of a riot. Like we saw police officers in full head to toe gear with the huge safety shields, and they were in full gear, but it was a very peaceful riot. Like nothing crazy happened, but even that happened in Paris. And I got back home and I said, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Why am I not actually doing this? And so, I had that on my mind, okay, I want to travel more. I want to take people with me, show people, the world. And so I was a part of a really huge travel group. And this specific travel group, she decided to host a moms and daughters international trip. Well, they got back and she said, well, that trip was fun, but I'm not going to be hosting another mom and daughters trip. So the first thing in my head was, well, because I didn't get a chance to go on this trip and I really wanted to. And so in my head, I just was like, well, I'll just create a travel company myself. And you guys, it took some researching. I did my research and I started off with a host company. I started off with the host company, and it was okay. I kind of learned what I needed to, I thought I was going to be with the host company for a while, but I kind of learned what I needed to know. And I really realized that they didn't really care about me. They care about what I could actually do for that company. And I wasn't really getting the support that I needed from that company. So I just went on a hunt for like a mentor who had their own travel company, knew the ins and out. And I just, I was searching on the web, searching on the web for travel companies, not huge, but, just someone medium sized. And it was actually the first person that I called. She picked up the phone. She was like, hello. I'm like, is this a travel company? She was like, yeah. And, we started having a conversation. She apologized that she got so many spam calls, and she just thought that I was somebody trying to spam her, and it was like, no. And so she spilled all the beans, you guys, and I'm so thankful for this lady. She spilled all the beans, and I was able to start my travel company from start to having all of my accreditations in less than 6 months. And it was the best thing I ever did, because in the middle of starting my own travel company, I still was a supervisor at a huge laboratory. And while there, I had my plans. I was going to stay for a while, and I had my whole 5-year plan on what I was going to do within the next 5 years. And something happened. While I was there. I had been with the company previously, but while I was there as a supervisor and the supervisor of other scientists, something happened. I know that people may mess up a little bit at work sometimes, but the company actually fired one of my coworkers. He was a supervisor as well, and he devoted 24 plus years to this company. They fired him, and we knew something was wrong with him. We knew that he was sick, and we didn't really know what was wrong with him. We didn't know what was wrong with him. We didn't know. But all I know is they called me into the office and they said, Tyra, we need you to take over Milton's team. And so I'm like, okay, where's Milton? They're like, Milton's no longer here. Can you take over his team? I'm like, yeah, of course I can take over the team, but what happened to Milton? They don't want to give me any answers as to what happened to Milton. So long story short, they fired Milton, and less than a year later, Milton passed away. Milton had, I believe it was pancreatic cancer, and he devoted all of his good years to this company, and they fired him. He was sick. He had to get Cobra, just all of that. And this just something just struck in me. Like, I refuse to live out the good years of my life working full-time in corporate America and not actually being cared about. During the in the beginning of the pandemic, I saw how, these companies really didn't care about people. And, I saw firsthand while I was there supervising, a team at a laboratory. I saw how some companies didn't really care about people. And I'm not going to say that the name of the laboratory, but, I saw it firsthand. And I just said to myself, I refuse to work here and not be fulfilled. I mean, I was fulfilled being a clinical laboratory scientist and a supervisor as well, but it was something about travel. Like, it sparks joy in me. Like, I love travel. Like, who doesn't love travel? Like, I get super excited about travel. I'm searching for flight deals and all kinds of deals in the middle of the night. I get really, really excited about travel, and that, I'm more excited about travel than I am as a clinical laboratory scientist. So, I just asked myself one simple question. Like, if I knew that I had only 5-10 years to live, what would I be doing? And the first thing that popped in my head was traveling. So I resigned that same day. The same day that they asked me to take over Milton's team, I handed my resignation, because they didn't care. They didn't care. They didn't care about him. They don't care about the people. And they damn sure probably don't even care about me. So I decided to follow my dreams. Like I said, I was already with the host company and I already knew exactly what to do. I just had to take that leap of faith and do it. I did it. I started my company from the ground up with the help of a mentor, and it's the best thing that I have ever done, in my life. I'm working more hours than I did while I was working in corporate America, but it doesn't feel like work because I actually love what I do. Right now with Mommy and We Travels, that's the name of my company, Mommy and We Travels. We plan group trips for moms and their children to do international and local destinations here within the United States. But outside of that, we also have a travel agent academy, and right now I'm managing a team of about 20 different agents, trying to mold and show them how the industry works, and all of that. Just really, I love what I do. But that's just from the beginning. Why travel? I love travel. Who doesn't love travel? And if I knew that tomorrow was my last day, I'll be totally happy because I'm actually doing what I love. Like I said, I love my career as a clinical laboratory scientist, but I love traveling more. If I could travel every day of the week, guess what? I'll be doing that. So this was an introduction to me, Tyra Andre. I'm the owner of Mommy and We Travels, and I'm the host of this podcast. This was a total introduction of why I travel, why I like to plan travel for others, and why I'm excited about this podcast. You guys, during this podcast, we're going to talk about travel. We're going to talk about traveling as a solo parent or a solo travelist, whether you have your kids with you or not. We're going to talk about so many different things within this podcast. We're going to talk about tips and tricks and, all types of things when it comes to traveling with and without kids. So I cannot wait until our very next episode. Until then, bye, Travelista. Bye. I'll see you guys later.